I welcome you all. Today we will start with the banking line practices class. Sorry, last week I missed this class because I was not feeling well. But today, by the grace of Almighty Allah, I am fine and I am feeling well. So today we will continue with the last week class that is about control of credit in Pakistan. This chapter has been divided into two parts. First part we will study today, and second part we will study on coming Thursday. Right? Starting with the chapter control of credit in. First of all, we need to study what are functions of state bank. These state bank functions have been discussed numerous times before in many classes, like in many subject, money banking, and many other financial institute, financial management, and other Islamic banking and finance and other subjects. But in this case, banking law and regulations, we will focus more on regulation side. We will focus more on procedure sides. Right? Let's have a short review of that, and then we will go ahead. Function of State Bank of Pakistan, like any other central bank, the State Bank of Pakistan has its roles and functions to perform. State Bank of Pakistan Act 1956 requires the bank to regulate the monetary and credit system of Pakistan and to foster its growth in the best national interest with a view to securing monetary stability and fuller utilization of the country's productive resources. What we study, if you remember, in first chapter when we were starting banking law practice, and we studied this slide of State Bank of Pakistan Act 1956, which was made by Ministry of Finance and which was regulated by money banking, which was regulated by Banking Council of Pakistan. What was the basic function of State Bank was to regulate monetary and credit system of Pakistan, not only the banking sector but all the monetary and credit system of Pakistan, as well as to focus on best national interest by securing monetary stability and utilizing full country productive resources. Now, when we talk about securing monetary stability, means stability of prices. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, prices are not stable. Prices go very rapidly up and very go rapidly down, and there is always a problem of demand and supply. But still, State Bank tried best to keep it on at a balanced position so that the monetary system of Pakistan should be stable. Utilize the resources. What resources? Like if there is a need of industrialization, industries are given loan at a discounted rate. Nowadays you see coronavirus, due to COVID-19 pandemic, coronavirus attack in all over the world, in Pakistan, interest rate had been reduced from 11% to 8% by State Bank of Pakistan. What does this mean? They are reducing interest rates so that loaning should be increased. People should borrow loan from the banks on low interest rate, and they should start their businesses, they should start their industries, they should start their small setups, businesses or entrepreneurship setups, so that the country economy could run. So this type of small lending, this type of medium lending, this type of customer retail banking lending, this type of consumer finance lending for car loan, for house loan, for student, for other thing, it leads to stable the economy. So functional state bank in this case is this. Next slide, we will talk about. Slide continues. First and foremost requirement of monetary stability is ensuring price stability, which is State Bank of Pakistan is achieving through stable interest and foreign exchange rates. Now here it comes to detail of functions of State Bank of Pakistan. In basic classes, in basic semester, before your 8th semester, you were studying that State Bank of Pakistan is required for money control and for arrangement of for running the wheel of economy and offering interest rate, and this type of monitoring the financial institutions and making credit balances of the economy and this and that. Now in this case we will study, as it's 8th semester and your seniors, it's the subjects which is very detailed regarding banking law and practices. Here, the foremost requirement of monetary stability of State Bank is to ensure price stability. I am focusing on price. That main issue of Pakistan economy is ensuring price stability. Price is not controlled. There is no such mechanism. There are many authorities through which price is needed to be controlled, like through deputy commissioner, assistant commissioner, commissioners, and price controlling authorities, FBR, etc. But unfortunately, they are failed to ensure price stability. State banks make policies, but they are not execution authorities. Execution will be made by government bodies like Deputy Commissioner Office, and Price Control Unit, Secretary of Exchange Commission of Pakistan, the field staff working there. But unfortunately, they are not unsuccessful in that case in somehow. which in State Bank of Pakistan achieved through other issues that other products are through stable interest rate and foreign exchange rates. Stable interest rate, even the Pakistan stable interest rate is stable for a long time. There were very high interest rate last year, 2019 or 2018, 14%, 11 to more than 11, 14%, 15%. In 2018, to our interest rate of State Bank was 14.25 or 14.50%. I remember. But today, after 2 years, after the Corona attack, it has decreased to 8%. Same the foreign exchange rates, Pak rupee dollars has reached to 167 Pak rupee $1 price is. So it means our even the foreign exchange rates are not stable. So Red Bank seems to be failed due to government non-execution of balancing price stability, of balancing interest rate, of balancing foreign exchange rates. But through when we talk about interest rate, somehow interest rate is stable in the economy of Pakistan and Pakistan banking sector by State Bank. Stability in interest rate in the forex market is achieved through intervention in money market and forex market, while nature of intervention varies in both market. Why interest rate is stable? Interest is stable because if this interest rate fluctuate, all the lending, all the banking gets stopped. Why? Because people take loans on any type of product like car loan, house loan, salary loan, personal loan, another business loan, small business enterprise loan, entrepreneurship setup, startup loan. These type of loans on interest rate basis. And if the interest rates are high, they are not taking loan. They will not take loans. So interest rates need to be designed in such a way by State Bank of Pakistan, which is affordable by all the customers and all walk of life. Right. So these are the basic 3 points: interest rate, foreign exchange rate, and price stability, which are the main primary core function of State Bank of Pakistan. To achieve this desired interest rate, State Bank uses two types of instrument. Now you must be thinking that sir is focusing more on interest rate and it is stable as well by State Bank of Pakistan that people used to follow and banks used to follow and financial institutions used to follow. It's because two products which have been designed by State Bank of Pakistan, in this case, State Bank of Pakistan, in this case, has been used. First are direct instrument and second is indirect instrument. Now what are direct instruments? Direct instrument and indirect instruments used to balance or stable your interest rate. These are basic instruments of monetary policy. Now, how we define direct instruments? Direct instruments, these are direct controls on financial prices, interest rate, or quantities, deposits, or credits of financial institution. These are those controlling instruments which are based on financial prices of interest rates and which are paid on quantities of deposits or credits of financial institution. Interest rate and deposit or credits of an institution is held with the State Bank of Pakistan. These two things are basically controlling direct instrument through which economy is controlled by State Bank of Pakistan. Now, when we talk about indirect instrument, this influence the behavior of financial institution by affecting initially the central bank's own balance sheet or the pricing interest rate of central bank by facilities and are used mainly pricing financial system. What are indirect instruments? Indirect instruments are first the behavior of an institution which is controlled by central bank own balance sheet or the pricing interest rate. If the interest rate is controlled and well kept at State Bank of Pakistan, it means they are indirectly controlled. They will be indirectly followed by all the banks working in Pakistan. So that interest rate will be accountable for both the things, like for the State Bank as well as for the banking sector. And when we talk about the other facilities, it means the central bank facilities are used in liberalizing financial system, right? So this financial system get liberalized if the interest rate is not well controlled by the State Bank of Pakistan. So what is difference between indirect instruments and direct instrument? Direct instrument are direct control of financial prices, financial interest rates of the economy of the financial sector of any sector working in Pakistan, as well as deposit or credits of financial institution. So they are directly dealing with financial institutions, deposits and credits as well as interest rates. So direct control means direct instrument of State Bank of Pakistan to control interest rate. And indirect instrument means the behavior of central bank on interest rate and balance sheet as well as interest rate followed by others, commercial banks or Islamic banks in that economy to live, to work or to take on finance. Further detail of direct instruments. Direct instruments are typically directives given by central bank to control the quantity or price, interest rate of money deposited with commercial bank and sometimes other financial institutions and credit provided by them. What direct instrument detail is? They are typically directives. Directives directions by central bank to control quantity or interest rate of the money deposited with commercial banks. They are basically directions to commercial banks that the money which is deposited with them and the money which they lend on form of loans, what interest rate they will charge. Please remember 8% interest rate nowadays of the state bank is, furthermore 2% 3% interest rate is given permission by state bank to commercial banks to charge on any loan, so that they can also earn from that investment, from that lending from the commercial banks to the customers, right? And if this control is not well maintained, if this credit system is not provided in a good manner, it means their direct control and direct instruments are not properly working. They are not defining prices of the interest rate, they are not defining the quantity of the interest rate, they are not defining on the quantity of the loan amount given to the people. Example of direct instruments are interest rate control, credit ceilings, direct lending, statutory liquidity requirement. What are interest rate control? Basic interest controls are the interest rate mechanism to define what interest rate will be suitable in any situation. Like in coronavirus, it is decreased to 8%. Now, normally it flows from above than 11% to 15% in Pakistan economy. Credit ceiling is what amount of loan to be given. For example, if your salary is 1 lakh rupees and you want to take loan of 10 lakh rupees, at least 50% salary should be take home of yours, and 50% share you can pay in loans of that installments of that loan. So this type of ceiling given to you, this type of limit given to you is known as credit ceiling. Directed lending is that lending which is given on special cases. Like nowadays, small businessmen or business industries are given loan by the government directions to state bank and state bank direction to the commercial banks. If you want to start a small business, you want to start a business setup or industry, government is going to give loan less than 8% defined by the state bank. Why? Because they want to encourage investment coming in the economy. They want to encourage to the economy go to get stronger, and financial crunches, financial losses of the economy should be reduced. What are statutory liquidity requirements? Statutory liquidity requirement is that requirement which is kept with the central bank of the commercial banks. Commercial banks, when they are open, for example, initially it was 50 million, 50 million initial deposit which was kept as security with the State Bank of Pakistan by any bank when it is open. If the bank get closed, there from that 50 million deposit they can be give that money to the customers, right? And they were allowed to give loans of amount not more than 50 million to the customers in their banks. This registration requirement was deposited in the State Bank of Pakistan. So basically, the balance, what you say, token money, or what you say, initial investment kept as the security money, or what you say, security money kept with the State Bank of Pakistan is known as statutory liquidity requirement. This is kept usually by the bankings of Pakistan. Further detail of pros and cons of direct instruments. There are always pros and cons of any instrument working in an economy, but when we talk about the direct instruments advantages and disadvantages, some of disadvantages and disadvantages are listed here. They are perceived to be reliable, at least initially, in controlling credit aggregates or both distribution and cost of credit. These are direct instruments which are perceived initially that they are reliable in controlling the credit rates as well as the distribution of cost of credit. Like they focus both on lending of the banks to the customer as well as the amount of limit given to them and the amount of interest rate directed to them. But disadvantage is bank by bank control hold. Now, what are disadvantages of direct instruments? Bank by bank control hold back competition in financial market, which could benefit both borrowers and depositors. This disadvantage is that the bank by bank control is really difficult for state bank as well as to control all the banks. But still, if this type of control is kept financial markets, then it could not give benefit to borrower and depositor as well. Like sometimes bank give less than interest rate committed by state bank with the public, Why? Because to increase their business and to earn less, but to make more customers. But if this type of strong control or hard control is kept on the banks and lending loans, definitely they will not get enough profit, and they will eventually close their businesses. Even the depositor will not benefit, even the borrower will not benefit. Then advantage second of direct instrument is they are attractive to government that wants to channelize credit to meet specific objective. Now you must be thinking that how specific objective could be met by the government by channelizing credits. Basically, a specific objective could be met in channelizing credit is that government sometimes give loans on credit to the poor people like kisan, like small investor, like industries, like businessmen, like hospitals, like government departments, like universities, like education institution, like sometimes this. Why? On low interest. Why? Because to benefit the economy, by benefit the public. Sometimes students are given student loan without very low interest rate. Sometimes initial investors or small entrepreneur or small business enterprise are given loans on very low interest rate. Why? Because to encourage coming of investment in the society and to increase the customer base, as well as to make the economy strengthen, and they want to serve every class of the society living in Pakistan. So these sometimes go banks are given direction to give loans in this regard. What are disadvantages of that case? Selective credit control, uh, credit control on same banks but not on favored one, distort market and impose a cost on society. What this is saying that sometimes private sector banks are held more controlled on credit system and on loaning system to the public, but government banks like National Bank of Pakistan, like Bank of Khyber, Bank of Punjab, Bank of Sindh, Bank of Balochistan, they are not kept much accountable. So in that case, this gives a discomfort and uneasy feeling among all the private banks operating in the economy. So it should be given equal balanced approach towards that. If the government want to give credit objective to meet specific objective, and they want to generalize the credit, should they should treat all the banks, public and private, in equal manner, and all should be directed to give loans to the public in best interest of the economy, as well on low interest, like to small investor, like to students, like to government departments, like to other needy people, small investor, businessman, industrialists, so that the economy should be run in a good manner. But this differentiation should be not made between public banks and private banks, right? Third point, they may constitute the most effective or practicable approach in circumstances of underdeveloped financial markets where a central bank has an inadequate technique of indirect monetary control. Sometimes it's good to that central bank keep a strong control on monetary control on the financial market, but this sometimes lead to this is good in underdeveloped financial markets where the smuggling, where the where the black and white dealing of money is allowed, where their illegal and human laundering transactions are held. In that case, this direct instrument control is good enough. But in some cases, what are disadvantages? Direct control encourage disintermediation on to into non-control markets or abroad. So over time, they become less effective as the lenders and savers search for ways to circumvent them. Now, what is disadvantage of that? If your anti-money laundering, or if your rules of instruments control in Pakistan are hard, then investment coming from abroad sometimes not favored. Like if you know people, why businessmen, elite class, and all the rich people of Pakistan kept their money in Swiss bank. Why? Because they are open to any customer, anyone can make investment. Why? Panama issue, which all our politicians of Pakistan kept their money, or our bureaucrats or judges or generals kept their money there, because it was safe haven for them. And why safe haven? That they didn't ask the source of income. But if you do this thing in Pakistan, definitely your source of income will be asked. Your source of money coming will be asked. Your family background, your banking transaction, your all money sources would be searched by FBR, and then you will be given permission. So this type of discomfort, this type of direct strong control kept your money coming into the economy from outside the country, and even it encourage more to drain out the money from your economy to outside the world. Going ahead, reserve requirement. Reserve requirement are percentage of commercial banks' liabilities which they are required to hold as reserve at central bank. What is statutory liquidity ratio? Commercial banks are required to keep some fraction of their assets in the form of cash, treasury bills, or other approved securities. This fraction is called statutory liquidity ratio. Its main objective is to ensure that banks have sufficient funds in the form of liquid assets. Currently, this ratio is 18% of time and demand liabilities. What commercial banks are doing is statutory liquidity requirement. Not all the money should be kept in form of bonds, in form of treasury bills, in form of commercial paper, in the form of